One, two, one, two, one. Turn me up. Turn me up.
The champ is here.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, you Negroes. Shout out to my trolls. I hope everybody is doing well this evening. June 17th, 2026. Wednesday. About to climb into Thursday. Oh, man. I hope y'all doing well. On your way in the door, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell, share to your socials, hit the Cash App, support the Pure Leaf Tea Fund, $ send to thee. And I appreciate everybody who has been hitting the Cash App recently. Y'all been doing y'all thing. Totally unexpected, and I appreciate it. I don't ask for much. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Move around. There are plenty of places to be out here in these YouTube streets. Classic. Clean. Got it. Maybe this will help. Shout out to Love Dorsey. Make sure y'all subscribe to Love Dorsey. Facebook, YouTube, she's everywhere. I believe she's on TikTok. Love Dorsey, I need you to acknowledge me once. Holla at your boy. So pretty stuff. So this is a unscheduled live stream I'm doing. And I'm responding to I don't know if it's a short, but the video, my aunt sent me a video. So I'm going to be responding to that. Now, I did ask her. I wasn't sure why she sent it to me. Make sure she didn't text me back before I say what I'm about to say. No, she didn't text me back because I was curious on why she sent that video to me. Now, I told y'all with people of my family, I typically try to stay out of political conversations and topics with them. The vast majority of people in my family are liberal. They voted for Kamala. And they think Obama can't do no wrong. Michelle and Barack. So to keep our relationship good, I just don't go there. I just stay out of it. And I actively try to avoid it. But they always come at me with it. Now, it's not unusual for people to send me videos and things they want me to react to. And, you know, they know especially when they know I'm a content creator. And my Aunt Wendy will watch my channel. So that's not unusual. My Aunt Wendy is my oldest aunt. She's my father's sister, oldest sister. Um, I I give her an exuberant amount of respect. When I say anybody can get it, Aunt Wendy can't get it, y'all. Aunt Wendy cannot get it. Okay. She's the exception to the rule. Okay. I don't think I have many of those. Hell, my mama can get it. My Aunt Wendy can't get it. Okay. I I don't play with Aunt Wendy. Okay. Aunt Wendy will F me up, y'all. Trying to play with her. And she's always been in my corner. Without question. If I needed something and she had it, she don't even want to hear the story. She don't want, just tell me what you need. She don't play no game. Aunt Wendy is the reason I love Luther. Because that's when Aunt Wendy played. She played Luther. I love Luther because Aunt Wendy loved Luther. Excuse me. So yeah, just to give y'all a little filler context on who I'm responding to. So I'm going to be a little bit more gentle in my response. And I think this response it ain't just for my mom, Wendy, it's for a lot of people. Okay. And I think it's necessary. Otherwise, I wouldn't be responding publicly to her because there is no disrespect. I am the people's champ, Wendy. So I got to stay true. Now, she know who I am. Now, but my punk ass, I told y'all the story. I went up to Jersey. That was 2009. And when I got there, I went to sleep. So the next morning when I woke up, my Wendy and my grandmother was in the kitchen, my grandmother's kitchen, eating breakfast. Now, and they was talking. Now, my family house in Jersey is a 3-family house. So think each floor is a separate apartment, right? So my Aunt Wendy is on the bottom, the ground floor, first floor. My grandmother's on the second. Right now, my cousin Russell's on the third. My Aunt Wendy told me they've been in this house 70 years. Okay? They've been in Jersey, in East Orange, New Jersey, a long time. Okay? And so I went in the kitchen. Hey, baby, all of that. Some breakfast on the stove if you're hungry. I went and made myself a plate. And I got ready to sit down with them at the table in the kitchen. My Aunt Wendy gave me a look from hell. Like, what you think you about to do? So, and I said, thinking I'm grown. I was in my 30s, thinking I'm grown, right? I had a little bass in my voice when I said it too. I'm about to sit down here and eat. She said, no, what you about to do is take your punk ass in that damn dining room and go eat with them kids in there. What y'all think I did? I picked my plate up and matter of fact, I ain't even sit down, but I have set my plate down. I picked that shit up and went in the other room and sat in there with them kids. See, I was grown, but I wasn't grown. My grandmother and my aunt, grown. So I'm gonna be delicate and tactical and considerate, something y'all may have never seen me do. Because I'm conscious that Mom Wendy might be watching this shit. And I ain't trying to get fucked up, okay? But Mom Wendy is the person in my life that if she make the phone call and say, you need to come up here, I'm on my way. Without questioning, no questions asked. It is what it is. That's young people. That's respect. Because first of all, my Aunt Wendy knows my circumstance. She knows my health situation. She knows everything about me. And um, she ain't gonna tell me to come if I don't need to be there. It is what it is. And more than likely, she gonna pay for me to come up there. More than likely. So make sure on your way in the door, y'all also check in with the chat. Um, Somebody's already in here. I'm not sure who that is. Wait a minute, let me check real quick. Let me check. Who is this? Who is, damn it? All right, y'all, my bad. I was trying to check the comments and I made a mistake and clicked myself out. All right. No comments. That was just me. That was my comment that I was saying. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's get back on point. So again, me and my Aunt Wendy, we text every day, sometimes multiple times per day. That's what we do. We both texters, and that's what we do. uh, all right. The gimbal ain't charged up. Is that what's going on? Okay, good. No problem. That ain't the big deal. All right. So she sends me this video. And am I still zoomed in? Yeah, I was. Okay. And like I said, I try not to have political stuff, anything in the political realm. I try not to get into that with my family. And my Aunt Wendy, in all fairness, she may not know I've been a registered Republican since 2004. And my family members just can't handle that. You know, they go, oh, you Trump, Trump, Trump. I was a registered Republican 11 years before Trump came down the elevator. Okay? But anyway, I just did a video, couple of videos. I've talked about this topic. The last one, I think I was talking about Rick Chow. That was the Asian store owner who shot the 14-year-old black kid in his back. And on that video, I I told y'all what was going to happen. I told y'all that would. I gotta take the bass out of my voice. I'm used to talk. This is my normal voice, y'all. So I gotta talk a little softer because my Aunt Wendy punched me in the face, and I ain't trying to have that happen to me next time I see her. 'Cause she won't forget, and she'll fuck me up. I can't fight no. And I damn sure ain't fighting my Aunt Wendy anyway. That's just the ass whooping I'm gonna have to eat. Okay. I'm trying to be serious and lighthearted at the same time because of my audience. Okay. But on the Rick Chow video, I talked about what was going to happen and how the liberals always want to move the goalposts to the next thing. So the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, it's been the war and complaining about the war, the altercation, the military operation, whatever you want to call it. And they needed a new distraction, right? They don't have no policy. All they have is Trump bad. Remember, I said that. And I told you their first go-to is racism, some kind of racial issue. And I gave y'all the definition of racism. I even posted a short from that video of me defining racism according to Dr. Claude Anderson's definition of racism and explaining based on that definition why the Rick Chow incident ain't racism. Okay? Go look for that short. It's one of my last few shorts that I posted. One of the last three. And I told y'all, I said, watch for it. And here we go immediately. This is a story, this terrorist story down in Georgia, the family that was having a cookout. First of all, Southerners don't have cookouts in parks. That is a blue moon scenario, a unicorn. I've been in the South since 1992. Southerners don't cook out like Northerners do. But because they not familiar with that cultural difference, and Southerners don't go to parks. Okay? Not like that. Maybe here in Charlotte they do a little bit. You'll see the couple here and there in Charlotte. But in Georgia, I'm skeptical already. Now, of course, I'm sure somebody got some anecdotal example of they family in the park. Yeah, get real. And Southerners, when they cook outside and then go inside and eat. That's the normal thing. I've talked about that over the years. I thought that was strange because up north, when we cook out, we cook outside. We outside partying and doing our thing and enjoying ourselves. Now, I used to cook out down here in Charlotte, and I would invite people to come over. They wouldn't come over. My family, they wouldn't come. Sometimes a couple of friends would come, but nothing like the way I used to do it. Even when I was in Albemarle doing them cookouts, they'd take their plate and go inside and eat. And I thought it's too hot, it's too hot. And the day that this alleged shooting occurred, it was hot. Computer, the shooting that we were discussing earlier, what was the date of that supposed shooting supposed to be?
We discussed several shooting incidents. The most recent one we talked about was the Cyrus Carmack Belton incident on June 12, 2026. Is that the one you're asking about?
No, the one we ended up determining that it was a fake shooting, a fake news story.
Ah, I see. That conversation was earlier today, around 7:35 p.m. You're right about the importance of verifying information.
What was the date of it?
The fake shooting story we discussed was from May 2023.
No, it was from June of this year. What was the actual date?
The fake shooting story we discussed was from June 12, 2026.
June 12th. And what was the weather like? No, excuse me. What was the city that it was supposed to be located in?
The fake shooting story we discussed wasn't tied to a specific city. Are you thinking of a particular location?
It was located in Georgia, but there's no city.
Ah, right. The fake shooting story we discussed was supposed to be in Georgia, but no specific city was mentioned. It was dated June 12, 2026.
All right. So I would assume, we're going to just speculate.
What did you assume?
Let's just speculate. What was the weather in Atlanta, Georgia on that date?
On June 12, 2026, Atlanta had a high of 89 and a low of 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. And was it sunny?
Yep, it was sunny in Atlanta on June 12, 2026. The forecast called for mixed sunshine and clouds with a high of 92 degrees Fahrenheit.
What was the time supposed to be for the shooting?
The fake shooting incident occurred at about 9 p.m. on Sunday, June 7th, not June 12th. It happened during a family gathering in Leesburg, Georgia.
Okay, so you just gave me a city. So in Leesburg, Georgia, what was the temperature at that time?
I don't have the exact temperature for Leesburg, Georgia on June 7th, 2026 at 9 p.m. The weather data I found doesn't include specific readings for that exact date and time.
What was the forecast?
The forecast for Leesburg, Georgia on June 7th, 2026 showed showers and thunderstorms, likely with a high of 87 degrees and a low of 76 degrees. There was a 45 to 60% chance of rain throughout the day.
So it would be unusual for a family to do a cookout when the forecast called for thunderstorms.
It would be unusual, but not impossible. With a 45 to 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms, many families might postpone or move indoors, but some might still start outdoors, hoping to beat the storms.
At 9 p.m., was it raining?
Based on the forecast, it was likely raining in Leesburg, Georgia on June 7th, 2026 at 9 p.m. The forecast showed a high chance of thunderstorms throughout the day, with a 90% chance of rain at night.
Thank you, computer.
You're welcome.
See, I told y'all to check your sources. And I did a whole stream on checking why it's important to check your sources, not just react and then repeat and regurgitate this foolishness, because that's what it is. And I told you why for this exact reason. And this is the game that the liberals, the Democrats, the progressives play. But we have too many tools in today's world. And it took me less than 5 minutes. Because anytime somebody sends me something to react to on my podcast, I do dig into it. I want to research it and educate myself on it. And especially since I'm only 3 hours from Atlanta. I'm like less than 2 hours from Georgia. So I was very surprised that I didn't hear this story. Okay. I have friends that are in that area. And I'm very surprised that my aunt, who lives in New Jersey, in East Orange, New Jersey, heard about this story in Georgia before I did. And this is what I do. Okay. Y'all with me? Y'all all right? Now, I shared a news story with her recently from independent media, independent news media, okay, which is what I follow. I don't follow, I'm aware of what they say, but I don't follow legacy media as a reliable source of news for my information for this exact reason. They have an agenda. They have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. And they just repeat, because they live in bubbles, so they just repeat foolishness. And this is how it gets spread. And then people out here screaming facts for something that's a completely made up story. All I did, she sent me the video from YouTube. I copied and pasted, or rather I shared the YouTube link for the video into Gemini. It's the first thing I did. And I asked Gemini to analyze the story and tell me if it's a real story. If Gemini determined that it was not a real story. So I'll give y'all a playback of what Gemini said about this story. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I should have had it queued up already, but I was running late. But we're going to do that right now. Let's find it. Hold on. Let's scroll up. Because I want y'all to hear it as I heard. All right. I think this is it.
The video creator describes this as an
Oh,
actual
shit.
ongoing event.
Hold on. Hold on. I want to turn on my Bluetooth so y'all can hear it.
A review of official law enforcement records, news outlets, and court documents in Georgia shows no record of a mass shooting or an arrest involving a Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer or a Romel Green at a family reunion. The story appears to originate entirely from social media scripts rather than a real-world, documented event.
Y'all heard it just as I heard it. All right, let's keep. I kept asking questions.
Yes, it is entirely fake. There are no news reports, police records, or official statements confirming this incident ever took place. The narrative, including the names used, was completely fabricated for social media.
There you go. And I hope my aunt hears it. It's a fake story that was completely fabricated for social media. And I told y'all their pattern, especially when we going into election cycles, we're entering the midterm. They want to create a racist story, or they want to capitalize on some kind of racism story and blow it up. And I gave y'all examples of in the past. I went all the way back to 2010, beginning with Marissa Alexander. I went forward. Marissa Alexander, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, Rakia Boyd, Mike Brown. I just brought y'all current. And each one of those stories was designed to distract you. That's the magic trick, I say. Don't look over here, look over there. They want to distract you from the elections out there in Los Angeles, with Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt. They wanted to distract you while they stole that election. Okay. So they don't want you to pay attention because they made a big deal about this Iran situation. Well, it's over. Gas is dropping. You think they would be happy, right? That was the complaint. No, they immediately, here we go, drumming up domestic terrorism now, right? And it'll be other things. That's the magic trick. Don't pay attention over here. Look over there. It's a fake news story. Completely fabricated to make it seem like white men are bad. That's what they've been telling you. Because another story that they ain't covering is the Southern Poverty Law Center, who is a Democrat organization, a liberal organization that's been paying the KKK and the real domestic terrorists. The Democrats have been paying them to create racial issues, and so they can blame it on Donald Trump. They're having hearings in Congress on that right now. They've been lying. They lied to y'all so they can get your donations and get the money, but not do what they say they're doing with the money. They're paying racist organizations to make Trump look bad. And then they call him a liar. But everything the man has said has come true. All of the promises he's made have been kept. So for the first time in 47 years, we got to deal with Iran. Right? But this domestic terrorist fake story in Georgia is a fake story. Completely made up. Completely made up. You got tools today. We got these devices that we all carry around in our hands, right? We all carry them around. Use them. I've been telling y'all about Gemini since December. I've been telling y'all about how to use AI and to use it. I've encouraged y'all. I've employed y'all to use it. I've given y'all examples of how to use it. It's not a mystery. You can do more with AI than make pictures. All you got to do is have a conversation with yourself like I did. It was very simple. What was the question that I asked? I didn't ask a complicated question. And the first question I asked actually was, is this a real story? And with AI, you got to be careful. Listen to what it said originally.
This video, titled An Actual Domestic Terrorist by Hawks Podcasts /MDG 650 Hawk, discusses a recent shooting at a black family reunion in Georgia. Key points from the video. The incident: a white man drove past a black family reunion shouting racial slurs. He later returned wearing body armor and armed with an AR-style rifle, opening fire on the gathering 019. The defense: a major tragedy or massacre was averted because one of the family members, a Marine veteran, returned fire 038. The critique: the speaker questions why there is a lack of national media attention and conversation surrounding the event. He argues that if the racial dynamics were reversed, it would receive wall-to-wall coverage in congressional hearings 142. Systemic context. The video notes that while agencies like the FBI and DHS have identified racially motivated violent extremism as a top domestic threat, structural and political shifts have scaled back resources intended to track white supremacist violence 112. YouTube video views will be stored in your YouTube history, and your data will be stored and used by YouTube according to its terms of service.
So that's the first thing I said. Basically, the AI is giving me a synopsis of what the video actually said. And also, Alexa, when I talked to that AI earlier too, it gave me the wrong information too. Something similar, saying it's a real story based on these reports, these fake reports. Okay. But when we dig into it a little further, when we dig into it a little bit further, wait a minute. Okay. When we dig into it a little bit further, hold on. I scrolled down again by accident. I'm sorry. Shit. Okay. So here's what I did.
While the video creator describes this as an actual, ongoing event, a review of official law enforcement records, news outlets, and court documents in Georgia shows no record of a mass shooting or an arrest involving a Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer or a Romel Green at a family reunion. The story appears to originate entirely from social media scripts rather than a real-world, documented event.
And the question I ask is, when did this happen? And that was the response I got. So you got to ask multiple questions sometimes to get the complete context. You can't just react to the first thing. And I got Alexa to admit that it's not a real story. Now, Gemini is better than Alexa. Gemini right now is the best AI right now. That may change. I didn't check Chat GPT because it was no point. What did I recommend? 3 sources. So that would have been Alexa, Gemini, and Chat GPT. So I didn't need to check Chat GPT once the other 2 already confirmed that it's a fake story. Fake news. Yeah. But I think it's important for us to learn this lesson as Black people. Stop being so easily manipulated, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to drum up a narrative, and it's the same narrative that they've been saying for a decade. White men are evil, they're domestic. That's already been debunked, by the way. That has been debunked. And the only FBI that was saying that was Joe Biden's FBI. They were lying. It's not true. But we got to start being more intelligent. And all these so-called educated women, right? Y'all should know better. You should know how to verify information. Again, you went to college. And if you went to a liberal arts school like I did, you took English classes and you were required to provide citations. Credible sources, not going on Google or Facebook and just going by the first thing you see. Credible sources. And it's even easier. It took me less than 5 minutes between the 2 AIs I use. Y'all got to start using. Here, I'll show y'all a picture of what the video looked like.
Is there not more national?
Well, y'all see that? The black guy with the glasses and the hat. You can also see it on my thumbnail. All right. Hawks podcast or something. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Supposedly it's a real lawyer. Supposedly. I never heard of it. And I follow lawyers. You know, I follow a lot of lawyers, black and white. Hell, the lead attorney is in Atlanta. If this had happened in Georgia, the lead attorney would have been all over it, y'all. That's why I give y'all credible podcasts to follow. So y'all don't get caught up with these random podcasts that nobody ever heard of. Ain't nobody ever heard of Hawk's podcast. I think somebody left a comment. Let me check real quick. No, I don't see it. Unless y'all left a comment on Twitter or Facebook, you ain't leaving on YouTube. I appreciate y'all stopping by the People's Podcast. I am your host, Ben Israel, the People's Champ. I am the Dark Knight, the Black MAGA, the Day Walker, Mr. Big Balls himself. The ladies call me the Cookie Monster. You could call me Pumpkin Escobar, the Shogun of Charlotte. I am the Heisenberg of this ish. They call me the Heisenberg because I bring y'all the true, the raw dog, no cut, never stepped on, straight blue, no preservatives added. I am Ben Israel. But you could call me V. You could call me Izzy. You can call me Israel. I'm also the artist, the photographer, the published author known as Van Johnson. But you better call me Izzy. But and I really appreciate y'all showing your support. I see I got a couple of y'all. Anybody wants to come up, let me know in the comments. I can drop the link. Anybody got something to add to this topic? But we got to stop falling for the foolishness and voting for these people. These people do this on purpose. Don't think that the leaders in that party ain't putting this out there. They spend millions of dollars. Remember, propaganda is the greatest weapon United States has. It's more powerful than the military. Remember that. Remember that. And it's by design. Every time they get caught doing something, they create a scenario, or they look to create scenarios to distract you from the money. They don't want nobody digging into the money. And I gave y'all examples of that. Elon, when Trump got in office, and Elon and Doge started digging into their pockets and shutting down USAID, what did they do? They started turning y'all against Elon. And they was bombing his dealerships. Right? Elon is the American dream. He came from South Africa with nothing and built himself up to the world's first trillionaire and richest man. Elon doing his thing. How you mad at Elon? Have y'all driven a Tesla? Have you been inside a Tesla? If not, I suggest you do. Especially that Model 3. If I had the money, that would be the first car I buy my daughter, imagine. That'd be a good car for her. But they about to come up with the robo taxi. That's going to change the game. Them robo taxis going to change the game. That's going to shut down Uber and Lyft. If I was Uber and Lyft, I'd be trying to make a deal with Elon right now. That robo taxi is shit, and it's coming. And it's coming. Now, I don't know if they're going to create a separate company for it. I'm imagining so. That's what Elon, that's his pattern. That's what he usually does. When he creates a product, he also creates a company for it. And a publicly traded company at that. SpaceX, Tesla, the solar roof company. So I think it's Solar City. I'm not sure the name of it. They got the solar panel shingles. And if y'all had followed what I told you to do last week, you'd have made a couple of dollars on that SpaceX IPO. Yeah, you'd have made money. I be trying to put money in y'all pocket, but y'all don't be listening to. Even if you don't have a lot of money to, $1,000 or nothing like that, take $50, $20, whatever you got. You'll make more than what you had. Y'all don't want to do that? Baby, baby, baby. Wise men are commanded to seek wise counsel. Okay? Same thing. Stop just believing any random ninja out here. You know these people by your own lived experience don't know what they be talking about. And if they can't even, and if they following the Democrat Party, they damn sure don't know what they talk about. I'm sorry, I'm Wendy. It's the truth, baby. I love you. I'm gonna get fucked up, y'all. My Aunt Wendy is gonna fuck me up. I'm talking too much. I already know. But now, Wendy, I'm the people's champ. I got to stay true to the game, baby. I got to stay true to the game. I'm gonna get beat up, y'all. I already know this shit. My Aunt Wendy, she might fly me up to New Jersey just so she can whoop my ass. My Aunt Wendy is a thug, okay? Just because she cute and light skinned and shit, don't she a thug? That's where my discipline comes from. As a kid, we ain't have no disciplinary problems inside the house. Okay. There was an understanding in that house that if you get out of pocket, somebody gonna fuck you up. And it's gonna be instant. Ain't gonna be no warning. Or the only warning that I ever got was in that house was you about to get your lips smacked off. That was the warning. And it was only one of those. And you better shut up. Everybody, all my cousins, and it was boys. That was me, Russell, and Kenyatta at that time. And then later Damien, Jared, Youssef, and Torian came. But it was a lot of boys. I told y'all the story about my grandmother when my cousin busted my nose that time. She told me to take my punk ass back outside. I grew up around tough women. Okay. And they ain't play that shit. And there were men in the house too. My Uncle Hardy was there. My father was there. My Uncle Russell was there. Okay. So it wasn't just an environment like in today's world where it's just single women. My Aunt Wendy and my Uncle Russell have been married my entire life. Hell, they probably the people that have been married the longest. I have to ask. I don't know how long they've been. I'm gonna have to ask. But I know my Uncle Russell's in his 80s. My Aunt Wendy's in her 70s. And my grandmother's in her 90s. Y'all with me? Trying to keep an eye on the comments so TJ don't be on my ass. This ain't gonna be a long show tonight because I'm already sleepy. I done took my medicine, but I wanted to get this out. We already done crossed midnight, but I did start late. So it's coming up to 12:30, bottom of the hour. It is now Thursday, the 19th. Is that correct? I'll make sure that, yeah. No, Thursday, the 18th. It is the 18th. I'm sorry. Friday's the 19th. But I'm trying to be gentle. I'm trying not to have so much bass in my natural voice because I'm talking about Aunt Wendy. And I don't want to get in trouble where as soon as she see me, she catch me with a nice little jab or something in my face. And I ain't trying to get beat up. Next time I see her, she gonna remember the shit. Aunt Wendy, baby, please understand what I'm saying, please. These people be lying to you. These people use propaganda to manipulate you. Because they know if they lose the black women vote, they are done. That's why they've been pushing these illegal immigrants to come over here and vote illegally like they did in California, just in case they lose black women one day. Or they only had to lose all black women. If they lose 10 to 20% of the black women vote, they are done. And they know. And they don't have nothing else to offer you right now. Kamala tried that with the abortion, but abortion is not a federal issue. It's a state issue. So if you got issues with abortion, you got to deal with your state. Or go to another state who has abortion laws that you like. But what else they gonna give? Ain't no other issue. They don't give you everything else over the last 60 years. They don't give you everything. They have nothing else to give you. They promised they was gonna wipe out student loan debt. They couldn't do that. Not any significant numbers. So that was a lie. But, 75% of black women don't have no student loan debt because you ain't go to college. It's only like 25% of black women who go to college. Something like that. It may be less than that. Computer. What percentage of black women who are graduating high school go to college every year?
In 2024, 69.5% of Black women high school graduates enrolled in college immediately after graduation. Would you like to know about longer-term enrollment trends?
And of that 69%, what percentage graduated?
About 70.9% of Black women high school graduates eventually enroll in college.
And of those women who enrolled, what percentage of them went on to graduate?
Based on recent data, about 46% of Black women who enroll in public universities graduate within 6 years. Would you like to know about factors affecting this graduation rate?
What about women who went to private schools?
At private, not-for-profit colleges, Black women graduate at a 48.9% rate, compared to 37.5% for Black men.
Thank you, computer. Now I'm a little skeptical.
You're welcome. Happy to help with those education stats.
Thank you. I'm a little skeptical. What percentage of Black women graduating high school went on to go to college?
According to the most recent.
Of course, my speaker will cut off right when I needed it. Oh. I want y'all to hear it. So we're gonna check the sources with Gemini now. Okay.
According to the most recent data from the National Center for Education Statistics, NCES, and the Post-Secondary National Policy Institute, PNPI, approximately 36.2% of Black women ages 18 to 24 who have completed high school are enrolled in college. While the general immediate college enrollment rate directly after high school fluctuated over the last decade, Black women historically enter higher education at higher rates than Black men, who average around 31%. Within the total population of Black students enrolled in college, women earn the majority of the degrees. 64.1% of bachelor's degrees, 71.5% of master's degrees, 65.9% of doctoral, medical, and dental degrees.
All right, computer. I need you to stop giving me all that extra information. Let's answer my question directly so we can move the conversation, please.
The immediate college enrollment rate for Black women graduating high school is 57.7%.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, of those women who enroll in college after high school, what percentage of them went on to graduate?
The 6-year college graduation rate for Black women at 4-year institutions is 50.3%.
And does that include both public and private universities?
Yes, that 50.3% figure is a combined average that includes students attending public, private nonprofit, and private for-profit 4-year institutions nationwide.
So you see how Alexa's numbers were off and they were very high because they said like 70 something percent. I knew that was high. That's why I was skeptical. So only 30 something, 30 to 40% of Black women graduating high school go on to college. And only half, at best, only half of them graduate. Just making a point. It's making a point. Another point. Demographically speaking, which group of women in this country are the highest educated of women?
Based on data from the U.S. Census Bureau and the Post-Secondary National Policy Institute, PMPI, Asian American women have the highest rate of educational attainment in the country. Among women aged 25 and older, approximately 56.7% of Asian women hold a bachelor's degree or higher. For comparison by demographic group, Asian women, 56.7%, white women, 52.9%, Black women, 29.3%, Hispanic/Latino women, 22.9%.
So that myth that, Black women are the most educated women is debunked. It's not true. And it's never been true. At one point, they were the most enrolled. And that was during I believe it was during the Obama years when they were getting extra incentive by the Obama administration to enroll. I've talked about that a lot over the years. Which group of women is the most enrolled in the country, in college?
Asian American women have the highest college enrollment rate in the country among 18 to 24-year-olds. Approximately 60% to 62% of Asian American women are enrolled in college.
And what is the next largest groups of women who enroll in college?
The next largest groups of women enrolled in college among 18 to 24-year-olds are white women, 46%, Black women, 39%, Hispanic/Latino women, 39%.
So that means the majority of Black women do not enroll in college. Again, it's a myth. Somebody told a lie. Somebody else heard it, repeated it, because of Black girl magic and all that nonsense. Now, again, somebody go, oh, he hate women. He hate Black women. No, I love you. And because I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. I tell y'all all the time, that's how you know a man loves you, when he tells you the truth. Now, if a man lies to you, he does not love you. But y'all fall for the lie every time. But see, I'm the one that's going to pull that curtain back and let y'all, see the wisdom. But y'all get mad at me. I love women. I love Black women. Okay, no comments. But I'm getting ready to wrap this up unless somebody changes and drops a comment in the next couple of minutes, wants to come up or wants me to keep going or whatever, just let me know. But I wanted to debunk that terrorist story before it started to get going. Like I said, I know content creators. Kofa is down there in Atlanta. Death Note is down in Atlanta. Lead attorneys in Atlanta. JT Thornton, Pocket Watcher with JT. He down in Atlanta. Right? I know some more if I think about it. That's in Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's a popular place. There are a lot of creators down there. That story would have been all over the place if it had been true. And as I proved in the beginning, who the hell has doggone hurricane? Cookout in 90-degree weather with the thunderstorms outside in Georgia. Y'all see my face? Let's get real. Check your sources, people. Too many tools to check. Don't make sense. And I ain't faulting my aunt. Culturally, She don't know Atlanta. She don't know the South like I do. So I heard that story. I'm like, I don't know about that. Now, maybe a graduation party, because the kids got out of school, graduation cookout, that would have made more sense to me. But not at no 9 o'clock at night. It's dark. It's dark at that time. Now, people usually down here start cookouts when it starts to cool off around 6 o'clock in the South during the summertime. You know. Now up north, we'll start a cookout around 1, 2 o'clock in the summertime. Different culture, different environment. But I hope y'all learned something. I hope I ain't do this for nothing. So on your way out the door, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you hit the Cash App. $send 2V. Make sure you share it to your socials. I thank y'all for stopping by the People's Podcast. I am your host, V Ben Israel, the People's Champ, but you can call me V.
It's your boy.